swept in by Josh Karoma.
Flips this one in. Goes to the far post. Nagayama with the goal.
Hello, good evening everybody. Welcome back to the channel for another live stream. We've got lots to talk about tonight and it is hopefully going to be a good stream. But yeah, obviously sit back, relax, have your snacks, refreshments ready. Get involved in the chat as well as we go along each topic. Like I said, there is quite a bit. It's kind of a bit of like a roundup show, if you get me. Just kind of latest news. Had a few things come out the past few days, weeks. Haven't done a live stream for quite a while. I can't remember the last time I did one. But anyway, but before we get into it, obviously, just a reminder. I will be going live tomorrow night as well. Doing the Euros, a bit of Euros content here, match day one predictions. I will have a guest with me tomorrow night, so it won't be just me waffling on like he usually is in the streams. I'm going to have a guest with me. I'm going to announce that obviously tomorrow. Obviously, a very good friend of mine, a content creator. And yeah, I'm excited to have him on the channel. So yeah, we will be doing those match day one predictions tomorrow night. Like I say, I have also done some videos on the Euros as well. So if you haven't seen those, go and check them out. They were pre-recorded, those ones. So yeah, they'll be on my channel right now. One about England, the England squad, and then the one about the group stage predictions, like the groups predictions in the group. And finally, before we do get into it, and we'll go to your comments as well, please make sure you are smashing the likes on the video if you are watching on YouTube. It really does help with the algorithm, does help with the channel. And subscribe if you are new as well. Appreciate, obviously, if you're joining us on X, if you would come over to the YouTube channel, Huddersfield Town Fan TV on YouTube. And yeah, it really helps, and I really appreciate everybody that supports the channel and what I do. It means the world. I know I say it a lot, but honestly, it means it's so much to me. But yeah, let's get into the chat. Aiden says, hi mate, oh you're okay. Yeah, big up to you, Aiden, always in here. Big up to you. And one more year, Hoggy, one more year, he says. Well, funnily you say that, because that is the place where we have to start, isn't it, tonight? Jonathan Hogg has signed a new one-year contract extension, which will take him to, of course, next summer, 2025. His 12th consecutive season with us. I mean, honestly, this guy has, so much loyalty, commitment, dedication, passion. He's Huddersfield Town through and through. You don't get many players that are as loyal as he's been. And yes, okay, I know people, I've been critical of him this past season, to be fair, because I don't think he's performed to levels he's shown for. But then I've kind of thought about what I said about him. I haven't really been too harsh on him, but what I did was quite critical of him. I think obviously you've got to put in perspective that he is obviously 35 now. He's not he's not the player he once was. But I think it's safe to say, no matter how badly he plays, he always gives it 110%, doesn't it? And that the pride he had in that badge is unbelievable. Very few players had that the past season. As we know, so many, people that just didn't, show you pride, But Hoggy, look, he is obviously signed. I knew this was going to happen, by the way. I think we all knew that Hoggy was going to sign another. Well, I thought that anyway. I thought it was just a matter of when, not if. But I think obviously the fact that he's been such a fantastic servant for the football club, what he's helped us achieve. He's been through so much with us, along with the fans as well, along with his fans. So yeah, I can't speak highly enough of him. I just look. We all love him, don't we? We love him. We appreciate what he's done for us. And like I said, it was announced last night. This, like I said, over 300 appearances for the club. Obviously, his nickname, the General, unbelievable character, professional. Let's just talk about his professionalism, by the way. He's such a top professional, isn't he? There's no snide comments that he makes on his social media like some players have done over the past year, right? He stays away from that, you know, and I think it's because truly he loves the club inside out, and he's not one of those that just want to cause drama, you know. But anyway, I'm kind of waffling on here, but look, I'm just happy. I'm just happy, really. You know, he joined the club in 2013 from Watford. Say he's entering his 11th consecutive season in West Yorkshire, of course. You know, legend is used a lot, isn't it? Legend. The word legend is used a lot to describe players, but let me tell you, Jonathan Hogg deserves he deserves that tag legend, because he really is a legend. You know, he's a club legend, and for what he's done for us, and yeah, just the loyalty he's shown. Like I say, probably, you know, when he was in very good form, I can't really remember. To be fair, I can't remember what he did yesterday, but earlier on in his career, you know, when he was with us, I think he would have had quite a bit of interest, but he stayed loyal to the cause. So yeah, honestly, I am delighted with it. Let me know your thoughts in the chat about this news. Of course, we're going to get some quotes up that Hoggy said as well. And yeah, so let's get into your comments as well, by the way, because I missed a few. Make sure you smash the likes and subscribe button. You big up to you, Aidan. I appreciate that. Hate to say it, but this is going to be Hoggy's last year. Yeah, it looks like it, isn't it? And I think that really, if you look at it from this perspective, I think he'll be more of a coaching role. I think this next year. And I'm not saying he won't play at all. I think he'll play quite a bit, but I think it'll be mostly a coaching role. He can't play every. The relentless nature of League One football, you know, it's going to be too much for him to play every single game. I think it's fair to say. And I think, yeah, you're probably right. Probably this is his final year, sadly. But I do hope that he stays on as within the club, maybe at the academy, you know, maybe as a coach. You know, I'd love to see him stay on. But yeah, we're just going to have to wait and see. Hello to Terry Darts, how are you doing? Thanks for tuning in. Hope you're well. Everyone loves the Hoggy tackle. Yeah, we do, don't we? He's just unbelievable. He's a true warrior, isn't he? You know, these injuries that he's at. Remember that injury that he got at Bristol? I think it was. And it was a neck injury, wasn't it? And the way he just, I don't know if he came off. If he did come off, he wasn't out for long, because he wants to get back and help the team as much as he can. But anyway, now let's have a look at the quotes that were said. Hoggy obviously did say a few things. So this is from the man himself, of course. He said, "I had no doubt all in my mind about extending my contract here. I've said it before, but this is my club, and I couldn't picture myself playing anywhere else now. Having been here for over a decade, I know town in good times and bad. And while the past couple of seasons haven't gone to plan, I'm determined to play my part in helping to put that right in whatever way I can." Speaking to Michael Duff about their plans for the future, that's something I want to be part of. Whenever I'm called on, I will continue to give everything I have for Huddersfield Town, just as I have since the day I arrived almost 11 years ago. So yeah, look how much, you know, you can tell he means every word of this, by the way, as well. I know you can sometimes get players coming out and saying things like this, and you think, what does he really mean that? But you can tell with Hoggy that he means every word of this. And look, we love him. He needs a statue. Build him a statue wherever he wants. Like I say, he's Mr. Huddersfield Town, and he'll always have a close place in our hearts, won't he? Really, I think, because like I say, he is a legend for us. But how lovely were those words, guys? I think they were brilliant. Hoggy's quotes just make me cry. Yeah, I know what you mean. It's emotional, isn't it? Because you do get, when you've been on a journey with obviously not just, but when you've been on a journey with this player, you know, he's been at the club for so long, you do build that bond with each other, don't you? You know, from you know, and you get what I'm saying. So yeah, it does make you quite emotional for sure. Warnock and Hogg statue, yeah. I mean, look, build them wherever they want. You know, that's all I say. Now, Michael Duff also commented on the contract extension news. He said, I'm extremely pleased to have Jonathan as part of our group next season. He's been part of our plans in every conversation we've held since joining the club. I was lucky enough to play at a good level until my late 30s, so know the impact and difference that can be made through experience and leadership, both on and off the pitch. Hoggy still has a huge part to play. So again, that was lovely, wasn't it? What Duff had to say. I think two very good statements put out there from both obviously the manager and Hoggy himself. That top Hoggy's up. Yeah, we're going to get into the training. We are going to get into the training to obviously announce the training things, merchandise, haven't they? For obviously we'll cover that a bit later on. But yeah, I mean, I take it you like it, Aidan. But yeah, anyway. But yeah, just final thoughts on that. Yeah, like I say, I think it makes absolute sense. Like I say, he does lead by example, whether he's on the pitch or not. Even if from the touchline, he'll still lead by example. He's a real leader. And like Duff said, his experience, will prove really vital, in his quest to try and get back up to the championship at the first attempt, which ultimately is what we're aiming to do. And yeah, that's it. So look, delighted, happy, and be good to see him. Obviously, back out on the pitch. When the season kicks off, and yeah, Hoggy, we'll always love him. We'll always love Hogg, and what you see is what you get with him as well. Like I said, he's a player that you can tell that he's always giving his all for the club. Yeah, and I think that. And he always has, no matter whether he's been poor or how badly he's played or how many misplaced passes he's made. It's not down to lack of effort. As you get older, obviously you are more prone to making mistakes. I think that's what we kind of have to put into perspective. But yeah, what he's done, his loyalty, it's just incredible, isn't it? Really. So yeah, Jonathan Hogg, like I said, has signed that 1-year contract extension. Let me know your guys' thoughts in the chat. So we've covered a few points there, but yeah. Now, next up, we are obviously going to talk about Michael Duff has confirmed his first team assistant coaches, of course. Now, obviously, Martin Patterson has joined the club. Obviously, anybody that has obviously followed town for a while obviously know that he was a player with us. He didn't stay long. He was only 2 years, and he, like I say, he didn't do much whilst he was here, but he still played for us. Like I say, he's had various roles in America. And they've also, Duff and Patterson has also worked together at Barnsley as well. So they've all obviously, they obviously know each other quite well too from the Barnsley days. And then he obviously moved with Duff to Swansea as well. And then in January, he was actually at Burton Albion as head coach. So obviously he stepped up, helped the side avoid relegation as well from League One, but then he left the club having completed a short-term contract in order to once again work alongside Michael Duff. So so Martin Patterson like I say, a familiar face at the club, having initially joined B team manager in the 23-24 campaign. Kevin Russell will continue on as head coach, not as head coach, as assistant coach under Michael Duff too. So, but yeah, just touching upon Patterson, I mean, obviously they know each other, Duff. It makes sense to bring him in. And yeah, I think that, we expected him to kind of link up with a few, we expected him to obviously bring in at least one of his staff that he's worked with at previous clubs. And that's what's happened. So, yeah, obviously, welcome to the club, Patterson, and hopefully he can help Duff, really, gosh, I always stutter, guys, so fair with me. But what I'm saying is hopefully you can help Duff, obviously, help us to be successful, in the new season. So, yeah, that's what I was trying to say. Blue Terrier says, hope Martin Patterson doesn't mistake any of the squad for Adam Clayton. Blue Terrier says, yeah, yeah, true. Like I say, I think we've what I will say though, I think the fact that I am surprised that Kevin Russell has stayed, and if I'm honest with you, guys, I am. I don't know what you guys think, but I'm kind of surprised. I don't. No, I just don't think he's been that great past year either. I think if you're having to clear out, you need to clear everybody out. And I think that the fact that, he's one of the guys that was there last season, and yeah, obviously he's going to be there, in the new season too. I don't know how to feel about it really. I think it's a bit strange, but look, obviously they have obviously worked together before as well. Michael Duff and him, haven't they? Cross paths coaching youth football and enjoyed stretches at Cheltenham Town in close proximity. Duff and Russell are no strangers either, with this their first opportunity to work together closely. So yeah, in fact, no, they haven't worked together closely before. So yeah, look, we'll just have to wait and see. But I would have liked to maybe seen somebody else that Duff wanted to come in. I'm not saying he didn't want Kevin Russell, but somebody else to come in instead of him. But look, we'll just have to wait and see. I'm not gonna, hopefully we can really have a strong season, as we said. Now the club confirmed that Thomas Klein and Asif Saric have departed the club with our thanks and best wishes for the future. So yeah, staff that has been there obviously have been obviously moved on. So yeah, now Michael Duff did have a few comments to make about this as well. I should have got a graphic for this, but I haven't done so. Anyway, we'll just read it out. He said, with work and planning for the season ahead already. Let's start again. I'm stuttering my words to get tonight, guys, so I apologise. But yeah, with work and planning for the season ahead already well underway, it's great to have my assistants in position to begin their roles in good time too. Kevin has a great reputation and knowledge of the game and club, and I'm looking forward to working more closely with him after knowing each other for a long time. Martin's a person and coach I know very well from the past too, with an established working relationship and understanding players. So I'm delighted to have him alongside us once again as well. We're only a few weeks away from the players returning for the start of pre-season, with our first friendly later this month too. And I couldn't be hungrier and more excited to get the hard work started out on the grass. So yeah, I mean, look, I am mistaken. Obviously, they know each other, Kevin Russell and Duff. So yeah, maybe he did want to keep him on as well. I don't know whose decision it was to keep him, but yeah, they do know each other. So I guess it's the same as Patterson as well. So yeah, look, just have to have a clean slate, I suppose, this season, this next season, and hopefully, yeah, like I said, have a good season. But yeah, that's it. So yeah, I think overall, just to recap before we move on to the next topic, yeah, Martin Patterson, like I said, I I think it is kind of a good appointment. I don't really know. I don't want to comment on it too much, but like I said, the fact that they've worked together at Barnsley and things, and it does make sense. So I trust Duff. I think Duff knows what he's about. So I think he will be a good fit for us. And he does know the club a bit as well, obviously, past and from, even though it was only 2 years when he played for us, but he does know the club a bit. So yeah, kind of familiar surroundings once again. But yeah, that's my thoughts on it, guys. So let me know your thoughts in the chat. Kevin was initially brought in as head of academy coaching, so I do think Duff actually wanted him, as if he didn't, he would have probably gone back to the academy. Yeah, true, Blue. So you're right. You make a good point. So yeah, I do get what you mean. So yeah, fair point there. Like I said, let's see how the coaching team do. Yeah, when the season kicks off. On Kevin Russell, Aiden says, I just got a bad feeling having him. Yeah, look, I was hoping that there's somebody else would come in, to be honest with you. I'm going to be honest with you. But like Blue Terry said, obviously, Duff obviously wanted him as well. So it wasn't, so otherwise he would have just gone back to the academy. So, yeah, I know what you're saying. I have a bit mixed feelings about it, really. But I guess we can just hope that it'll work out for us. So, yeah, let's just see what happens. Now, the next topic is, obviously, the club announced that they're having a bit of a refurb at the stadium, which was obviously good to see. Obviously, a bit of investment going into the playing service as usual. And of course, the arches, as you can see at the top there on the roof, have been sprayed so they're clean, which obviously will give it a bit of a fresh look. I do hope it doesn't actually say anything about the concourse areas, but I do hope that the concourse areas are improved, because anybody that's been at the John Smith Stadium will know what I'm talking about. It's very dark, very dingy. It just needs a fresh look. It's so outdated. It just feels dirty if you get me inside that concourse. It really does. So hopefully, the concourse areas and the toilets as well, hopefully they get refurbished. Like I say, they can't all do it all at once, but I think they need to do something with that concourse area and in the other facilities as well. So look, I think obviously it did say in the article that they released, the club, that they are looking to just kind of freshen it up a bit, really, Yeah, the white arch, yes. They've began the cleaning work on the famous white arches, as you can see on the roof there, just in the background that I've got. Because like I said, they haven't been done for a while, to be honest with you. And also, there's obviously been investment in the new club offices too, the John Smiths. And yeah, look, I think it's good that there's investment going in there. They did, like I said, they didn't mention the concourse areas, but I do think that they will. Kevin has got, will obviously he did. I think he's mentioned it before in his diaries about, really, just what I'm saying, that really refurb the concourse areas. That's what I mean. Completely refurbish it, make it look fresh, new. Nice, obviously new lighting and things, and just everything needs updating, doesn't it? I think, to be honest. So, yeah, but yeah, good news on that front. Now, so yeah, let me know your guys' thoughts in the chat. But yeah, big up to everybody that's tuning in tonight. Like I said, we are live on X on YouTube. I don't want to keep saying it, but obviously do make sure you do come over to the YouTube channel, Huddersfield Town Fan TV on YouTube. Make sure you subscribe, like. And really just help the algorithm. And your support never goes unnoticed. I appreciate everybody that tunes into my content. And yeah, but anyway, next up we are going to get into the transfer rumours, of course. There has been a few rumours, going around on social media. You don't know which ones to believe, but there has been quite a few rumours. So we're going to get into those. And like I said, the transfer market, opens on Friday. So we will start to see movement over the next week or so, I would imagine. Players obviously were questioning whether they'll stay or not, like Helic, Bidone. I think Thomas for me is already gone. I think it's just a case of agreeing for a club to come in for him. Sorry, and yeah, we'll start seeing more movement now once the window opens. I think, as we know. So, and obviously get some players in as well. But we'll get into the rumours in a minute. Aidan says miss seeing the Johnson Stadium on a Saturday, but not missing the football. Yeah, I get what you're saying. You kind of miss it, don't you? But you don't, in a sense, because it's been such a horrible season. I think we're just relieved to have a break, aren't we, from all this? Okay, it's not obviously we like going down to the ground on a Saturday afternoon and what have you, but we miss that side of it. But we don't miss the football, like you say. So yeah, I just think it's nice to have a break. I think, to be fair though, I think that the fact that there's so much sport over the summer, like I said, the Euros and the Olympics, if you're into that, tennis, Wimbledon, if you're into that as well. There's so much sport, Copa America as well, alongside the Euros. There's so much sport. I think it'll go so quickly this summer. It'll be before we know it, Aidan, where we'll be going down to the stadium and we'll be back into the routine soon, before we know it. But yeah, I get what you're saying. Anyway, let's get into the transfer rumours then. So I want to start with Ben Jackson, who has been, I don't know, I just don't know if I believe this, to be fair. I think it's kind of a false one, but I will mention it anyway. Ben Jackson has been linked to where here he is. And apparently Sheffield Wednesday have expressed interest for him. Now, it hasn't really come from a reliable source, guys, but it has been on social media, so I kind of wanted to cover it anyway and kind of share my thoughts on it as well. Let me know your guys' thoughts in the chat as we go along these players, by the way. So apparently Sheffield Wednesday have offered £500,000 for him, with contract negotiations underway soon, or maybe have started already. Now, look, I don't know. I think I'd be a bit gutted if this was true, to be honest with you. I'll explain, because I think if he did go, I don't know. Obviously, he has come through the academy. He hasn't done much in the first team. He had a poor season last year. Obviously, he did come out and say he struggled mentally, which obviously has hampered him completely. I can only relate to that. It really does hamper your performance in every way. Not just in your job. And so I get that. I don't think he's really done anything special since he's kind of come into the first team. I think he's had some good games, but he's had some very bad games as well. So he come through the academy, as I said. I think he'll be a really valuable player in League One if we'd be able to keep him. I know he hasn't been at his best, like I said, the past 12 months, and I do look at the price and think £500,000 for somebody that hasn't really put his stamp on things, really, if you get me, in terms of first team football. So I think that £500,000, I mean, do we think we should cash in on him now and get somebody else in? Or do you think we should keep him? Let me know in the chat. I think, like I said, I would be a bit gutted if he went. But I'd also understand if he went, because £500,000 might not seem a lot, but it is, isn't it? It is. For a player that hasn't really done much. And then you can kind of invest that back into the squad with somebody else. So yeah, I'm a bit 50-50. Like I said, I don't know if this rumour is that true. I don't know if I believe it. I think I'm more swaying towards I don't believe it. But I kind of wanted to just share my thoughts on the Ben Jackson rumour that I've been seeing. Blue Cherry says nothing against Jackson, but wouldn't be disappointed to see him leave. Don't think the rumour is true though. Yeah, I mean, look, you're being quite respectful here, Blue Terry, with what you're saying here, and I do get what you're saying about, you wouldn't be disappointed. It goes back to my point that he hasn't really hit the ground running in first team football, has he? I don't think, he really hasn't. So he's obviously been out on a few loans as well. So, yeah, I do get, but yeah, like I say, I don't think the rumour is true either. Aidan said, I hope Ben Jackson doesn't go because he'll do good for us in League One and can't see him getting any game time at Sheffield Wednesday. Yeah, no, I think that, like I said, I think he would do quite a solid job for us in League One, as I said earlier, so I agree. And yeah, it depends what he wants, doesn't it? Because obviously at Sheffield Wednesday, he'll be on quite a good pay as well. You know what it's like nowadays. I'm not saying every player is the same, but a lot of players just go for the wage, don't they? They're not bothered if they play or not. And that's because Sheffield Wednesday obviously will pay quite well, I'm presuming. But like I said, I'm not that sure. I just want to kind of share my thoughts about Ben Jackson. I don't think the rumour is true, but I just want to kind of share my thoughts on it. But yeah, Wednesday are reportedly signing Max Lowe, so he probably wouldn't be guaranteed game time. Blue Terry says, fair enough. Well, there we are then. So it depends what he wants, I guess. Because I think that realistically, if he stays with us, yes, okay, it's a division lower, but if he stays with us, he's going to get more game time for us than he is at shit. So I suppose it's down to him. He said that he wants to be back at the Championship, which is where this rumour came from. But for me, I think he just wants to play regularly, doesn't he, and get back up to speed with everything, because he has had a bit of a tough season, as I said. And yeah, I just think if I was him, I would stay with us, and yeah, obviously see how we can progress over the next year and review things then. So yeah. But thanks for that, Blue Terry, about that. I didn't know they were into that other player in the same position. Now let's talk. Next player I'm going to talk about, and we're going to talk about him, is Sorba Thomas, of course. Our very, I don't know how to describe Sorba Thomas, but a very divisive player. And what I mean by that, very erratic with his behaviour. Now, it has been reported, and I think this is, obviously the club have said that they're prepared to, they value him at £750,000 for any club that wants him. And this is according to Alan Nixon, who I think is a very, is a good journalist and gets quite a bit right. So it's coming from a good source. So I think, yeah, I think that it does make sense that. But I think ultimately, look, everyone knows my thoughts on Sorba Thomas. I think if you look at him, his numbers don't lie. But the fact is whether people want to admit it or not, he is one of the toxic players in the dressing room that just disrupts things. And that's the reality. You can tell. I think his commitment and dedication to the club has shown throughout his time at the club that he doesn't want to, he doesn't, I don't think he clearly doesn't want to be here. I think he's one of the toxic ones in the dressing room. And like I say, his attitude has been poor, and body language, he doesn't want to be here. Like I say, he doesn't want to be here. So get rid of him. I think the price is very underpriced, I think. But I think it's just a case of taking an exception for Sorba Thomas, because I just think you just need to offload him now, because I was prepared to give him another chance this season, and okay, he's provided a lot of good numbers for us, unbelievable numbers, by the way. I just think towards the end of the season he was very poor, his attitude, then commenting on Delano Bergzorg's post. I can't remember what he put now, I did report on it at the time. It's just all this unprofessionalism that I don't like to see. And even at the last home game, when they did a lap of honour, for some reason they did a lap of honour, I don't know why, but when they did the lap of honour, you could see how disengaged he was with the team, because he was about 10 metres behind the rest of the group, and I'm like, what are you doing? You're kind of clapping, you don't look like you're interested. It's just as if you're just being forced to do it, right? And you're nowhere near your teammates. You're just lagging behind everybody. So it didn't, this guy is a person that when the going gets tough, he doesn't want to know. And it's proof, when we were fighting relegation under Neil Warnock, and then obviously he got shipped out to Blackburn Rovers, if you remember too. I just don't think his heart's with the club, and I think we need players that are pulling in the same direction. And I think you can have all the ability in the world, but if you have the bad attitude he has shown time and again, you just have to leave, And that's my thoughts on it really with Sorba Thomas. I gave him another chance this season. I thought, you know what, fresh start, let's give him another chance. And he's just behaved in the same way, thinks he's bigger than the club. Nobody is bigger than the club. Nobody is bigger than the club. And he thinks he's bigger than the club. And we can't have players like that. We are not about that. This football club isn't about that. We all have. You cannot play as an individual on that pitch. It's a team game, And Sorba Thomas, his numbers are superb. This past season has been superb. We know this, his assists and things. But the bottom line is, the end of the season, he just tailed off into it, and plus, just saw signs of pure laziness when he was on the pitch a lot of the time. Doesn't track back, doesn't help his teammates out. Yeah, I don't want to cover all ground, to be fair. I just think we should just cash in on him now and move him on. That's the best for both parties. Sorba can, no expletives in tonight, but can go. He can go. You're holding your breath there in terms of wanting to say something worse, but we just have to just move on from it, don't we? Blue Chase, I don't see us accepting a fee that low for him. I personally believe this rumour has been leaked by the club to try and get more interested in. Yeah, I mean, look, even if it isn't that much, I think that the club have to just look at it in a way that if we're going to be quite, specific in what we want in, I just don't want. He may just end up staying with us, and I don't particularly want that to happen because I think we need to cash in on him as soon as we can and get somebody else in as a replacement. I mean, if you go towards the million mark a bit more, close to the million mark, I think that'll be all right. But 750 to $1 million, I think I just think you have to just cut your losses, really, in my opinion, in this situation. Sorba, as Warnock said, could start an argument in an empty room, and if you don't have a manager who is very good at controlling players, then you definitely don't want him. Yeah, I know, but again, you shouldn't have to have this divisive figure in the dressing room that a manager has to kind of, rein in a bit, and deal with. It's just an extra problem that a manager, head coach, whatever, doesn't need to deal with, do they? Problem players like this, I just don't think it's any good for anybody. But like I say, you hit the nail on the head. Sorba Thomas is just one of those that can start an argument in an empty room, and that's the kind of person he is, unfortunately. It's a shame, really, the way it's kind of ended on this note, if you could say so, if this is the end of his time at the club, because I think the bottom line is I'm going to move on from him in a minute, but the bottom line is we did give him his chance at this level. When we were in the Champions League, we did give him his chance. He was obviously in non-league, and we gave him his chance to showcase himself at a higher level. And he's just feels like he's just kicked us all in the teeth, really, if you get me. He just disrespected us. I just think his attitude and everything about, I just don't particularly like players that just think they're bigger than everybody else and they're bigger than the club. And as soon as he got that Wales call-up, he completely changed it. He just seemed to go to his head a bit, really. And he thought it was the best thing ever. You haven't made anything yet, mate. You've got to work. if you want to be a successful player in the higher divisions, you have to work. You know, if you're not prepared to work, then you ain't gonna last long around because there's only so many chances you're gonna get, and then you're just gonna end up having to maybe go further down the leagues again. So yeah, that's it really from my point of view. In my opinion, Sorby's a player where I just think, oh, he's playing good, let's keep him. Then another game is the player who just wants to punch in the face half the time. Yeah, and you do make a good point. I think he's a bit. I know, obviously, we saw a bit of this, didn't he? Quite petulant as well on the pitch. You know, when he don't get his own way, he throws his dummy out, and starts behaving like a child. And he's a bit out of control. We saw that a bit when he got booked I think it was a game towards the end of the season. He got booked and he just kept going. He was out of control. Caught, pushing. Do you know what I mean? Just kind of. You could tell that he was on the edge of, kind of being wound up further and further, and it just seems like, do you know what I mean? I think he just looked like he was, when he don't get his own way, he's just a crybaby for me. And yeah, then he just goes into this divisive figure where he's just uncontrollable, and he just gets ended up, if you remember as well, he got sent up at Rotherham, didn't he? And he knew he was on the yellow card, and he just continued to behave the way he did, and he ended up getting himself sent off. So, yeah, look, that's it from me for Sorba. I gave him another chance, and he's blown it, to be honest with you. So that's it. Now I have seen this other rumour as well of outgoings. Apparently, a host of League Two clubs are lining up a move for our midfielder Scott High, who, of course, has been out on loan a few times, and really, I don't see him being a big part player this season. So, for me, if some League Two club wants to come in, apparently Salford, Bradford, Doncaster Rovers are keen on him. And obviously he's been out on loan at Dundalk FC. He scored 1 goal in 14 games for them. But look, yeah, I think Scott High, I think it just makes sense to get rid of him as well. Just get him off the ranks. Now, it'd be interesting to see how much we could get for him. Actually, I don't think it'd be much, but yeah, I just think you just need some good players on that. He's not gonna contribute to our cause, so just think you need to get rid of him. Now, Mikael Hellick, I haven't seen any. I don't know if anybody else has, but I've not seen any rumours on Mikael Hellick yet. I think that once the window opens, then the interest might ramp up a bit with him, and we might hear a few more things about potential clubs that want to buy him. I hope they don't, because I would love. I think we all would love to see him stay, because I just think in League One he would be unbelievable for us. If we can keep him, it would be unbelievable. I'm kind of resigned to the fact that we will lose him. If I'm being realistic, I think he will get interest from Championship clubs. There's no question about that. But I also think at the back of my mind as well is that because obviously Duff's at the club now, is he tempted to stay on for another year, see if he can get back to the Championship the first attempt? And if we don't, then he might decide to leave then. Will the temptation of Duff, obviously was at Barnsley with when Duff was there, Hellick. So is he going to be tempted to stay on? We can only hope. I'm clinging on to some hope, guys. That's what I'm doing, I think. And I think hopefully he will, he will stay. But I think I'll be quite upset when he does go, if he does go, because I do really like him. I think he's got so much ability, so much talent. I just love watching him on the pitch when he gets stuck in, great challenges. He makes such a difference to the defence, doesn't he, as well? I know, obviously, I think the style of play that we played past most of the year didn't really suit him. Constant pressure, the defence is going to break. So I don't think that reflected on Hellick himself in terms of how many goals we conceded. I just think the fact that we played a style where it was so negative, under you know who, for most of the season, I think, yeah, I don't think it reflects on Helik as I think he did a lot of good things. He scored plenty of goals as well. He's an aerial threat from set pieces as well. But we're going to have to see on Helik. I'm clinging on to some hope, but I'm kind of feeling resigned to losing him. But let's just see how it goes, I suppose. But yeah. Now, Jack Redoni, of course, we don't know if he's another question mark, isn't he, at the moment? Here he is, Jack Redoni. Now, I really do think that, he needs to stay. I would love to see him stay because I can see Redoni again being a major player in League One for us, to be honest with you, next season. I think he's a player capable of reaching double figures for assists and goals if he's utilised in the right way. Now, people talk about his finishing as being quite poor when he had a chance in the Championship. And maybe he doesn't really contribute in assists that much. Not enough anyway. But I think in League One, again, drop down, I think he would be such a good player. Like I say, I think you will get plenty more chances in League One to score goals, obviously assists. He might have more space to kind of, obviously in the Championship, we know how brutal the Championship. I'm not saying League One isn't tough either, because we know it is tough, but what I mean, like the calibre of players that you're up against, obviously does go down in League One, on the whole. Obviously some teams have got very strong outfits, but majority is, League One is kind of split into two halves, isn't it? You've got the really good, really strong teams at the top, top 10, and then the rest of the group, top 10, 12, and then the rest of the group are kind of adrift of that quality level that you need to try and get into that top half, if you get me. So I think Redoni will be a really key player for us if we can keep him. I know people will talk about the fact that mind you, to be fair, at Ipswich, where he obviously lost the ball for the goal we conceded, and then he just stopped and then he was dragged off, which I don't think, looking back, I think it was a bit of a knee-jerk reaction from Brighton, right? Yeah, that's no dig at Brighton, right? I think Warnock mentioned this as well. I think if he did that, if Warnock was in charge at that point, he would have just put his arm around him and said, come on, that's not acceptable. Put things right. That's what he would have done. And Brian Wright just dragged him off. And obviously the fact that he's not stayed on Brian Wright, is this a chance for him to think, you know what, let's just, again, it's not a particular level I want to be at, League One, but I want to help the team get back up to the Championship. So Redoni, if he wants to stay, again, it's all down to whether these players want to stay, because if they don't, then that, whether I think he's going to contribute enough, whether he's going to contribute a lot, is irrelevant, isn't it, if you get it? But Redoni, I think if he wants to stay, I think he could be a big player for his next season. And I would like him to stay. I would. On the whole, I think he's a good player for us. And the only time I've seen him really give up is that last game of the season. And, I've never seen anything. I was quite shocked that he, the way he just stopped and gave up like that when he could have easily got the ball back. He's never done that before. I've never seen him do that before. I think it was just I don't know what to call it, but I just think it was just a one-off. You don't get that much from Redoni, I just don't think so. Andre's Warnock's comment to that, Andre, was interesting. Yeah, it's did I do a video or a live stream about that where I kind of spoke about it? I can't remember now, to be honest with you. Yeah, I can't remember, but I did do some content on it, and Warnock certainly came out swinging, and you can't blame him. I'm not here for taking sides, by the way, but I just think Brighton Wright was totally unacceptable the way he threw Warnock under the bus and questioned the man of his quality, what he's done in English football, and he sat there questioning his pre-seasons. And look, I don't want to get into it too much because I've already covered it, but I was one where I said that I didn't really understand the fact that we were playing teams down in Cornwall that were way, way, way below what we should have been challenging ourselves against, because it wasn't really a challenge at all, was it, playing these teams down there? I didn't understand that, but the fact that he was trying to say that the players were in the pub a lot and things like that, and the comments he said about golf as well. Look, Warnock had them in training. He didn't, that was all. In the end, that seemed to be exaggerated. Again, just to kind of rein it, kind of pass all the blame onto everybody else but himself. And yeah, I didn't like the way he went about things. If you've got things to say, I think you should have left it until the end of the season instead of saying it at the time he did. You could tell it was just to cover his own back and his reputation. So, yeah. And I think the fact that he said that the players weren't fit, I think he's again quite insulting to Warnock. Anybody that has come up against the Warnock side, he has his own ways. He might be quite old school still, but it's effective. And actually, a lot of clubs that come up against Warnock teams over the years have said how difficult it is to play against a Warnock side. So this fitness rubbish, just because they're not, anyway, I'm going off on one, just because not everybody manages the same. So anyway, I'm waffling. But anyway, Blue Terry said if Andre wants to make them fitter based on Warnock's advice, he should have taken the players to the pub more and played golf. Yeah, look, I just think the fact that we brought Warnock back, I'm not going over it, to be fair, but if we brought Warnock back, he should have had longer anyway. So, look, that's kind of been and gone now. Well, we must have been fit against Leicester based on the running stats. Yeah, exactly. So this nonsense about not being fit enough and all this, it's rubbish. And yeah, okay, we did look quite leggy towards the end of the season, but these players have gone through so many different styles. Warnock and Darren Moore, whatever he's, constant pressure, that could have drained the players even more, let's be honest. The fact that they were just constantly on the back foot most of the time, running, they were just drained. Darren Moore is the one that drained them even more out of the fitness levels, and that's why we kind of saw players struggling a bit more towards it. Nothing to do with the fact that Warnock didn't get them fit enough for the season, because Warnock has been there, seen it, done it, and he's achieved you don't achieve what he has when you don't achieve what he has, and he's always done the same preparations for seasons too. So you don't achieve what he has without having a high caliber of management about you. So yeah, look, that's been and gone though now, isn't it, I suppose. But yeah, back to the transfers now. Lee Nichols, look, I don't know if Lee Nichols will stay, to be honest with you. Not heard anything. I don't know if anybody else has, but I've not heard anything on social media about Nichols yet. There's just kind of question marks about if he will stay or not. No actual bids or interest. Like I said, the transfer market isn't open until Friday, so you may see, rumours surface once the window opens, but for now we haven't heard anything about it. So we're just going to have to wait and see on Nichols. Like I said, if he does go, we could get some decent money for him. We've got some good replacements. I think we've got a good replacement at League One anyway with Maxwell. I think Maxwell will be a good League One keeper for us. And then we've got Chapman, who has shown he's more than capable of stepping up if required to. So, yeah, I'm happy with the goalkeepers if Lee Nichols decides to go. Of course, I have liked Lee Nichols over the years, but I don't think he's been the same player the past year, to be honest with you. I don't. I think, yeah, okay, I just think there's something, obviously his injury issues as well, but I don't know. I just don't. I think he just. I just think he's a bit. He's just been a bit off it, hasn't he? And yeah, when he used to kind of take so long to get the ball out, it's so slow and lethargic. There's no kind of energy to get it out quickly. But anyway, we'll have to see what happens. Lee Nichols will probably want a move, but if there's nothing, he would be happy to stay and play. Yeah, exactly. I think you hit the nail on the head. I think you're right. Yeah, if he doesn't get any interest, then yeah, he doesn't. He'll be happy to stay. So yeah, let's wait and see on that one. Now incomings, there has been a few rumours surfacing here with a few players that have been linked. We're going to wrap up in the next 5 minutes or so, guys. So I appreciate everybody staying until the very end. So incomings, there hasn't been much in the incomings kind of rumours at the moment, but I've seen a few things. Now, this particular player from Cheltenham Town, I've seen linked, which again, I don't know if I believe this or not, and I hope it isn't true because it doesn't look very good. But Cheltenham Town forward George Lloyd, who has scored twice in 27 matches, which again is so poor, isn't it? He's not a goal scorer, he's meant to be a forward. He's scored 2 goals in 27 games. Doesn't really set exciting going, does it, when we link with a player like this? And he's got 3 assists this last season. So yeah, look, and this was at League One level, by the way. So at League One level, so I don't think we should be going for someone like George Lloyd. I don't think he will offer anything to the cause. Here he is, of course. But look, so yeah, I wouldn't go for somebody like George Lloyd personally. I haven't really heard of him, and I don't think his stats. I don't think he'll be able to. He's not an upgrade on what we've got. Put it that way. So I don't think so. Has he Blue Terrier? Has he just signed now? Because I haven't seen that. I haven't seen that at all. My goodness. Well, that rumour, that part, me saying that's been a complete waste of time then. So yeah, fair enough, guys. We're not getting George Lloyd if he is signed for Shrewsbury already. So yeah. So that was a load of rubbish, that rumour then. Let's have a look at the next player who we are very familiar with, of course. This guy, we know him very well around these parts. Naki Wells, former player. Obviously, he's rumoured to be coming back. Obviously, he's at Bristol City at the moment. It did say that they're apparently attempting to complete a deal which could see an unbelievable return back to the John Smiths. Obviously, Naki Wells, anybody that doesn't know, obviously was at the club before, scored 44 times in 143 matches. 34 years of age though now, so obviously he's quite a bit older than when we had him. But yeah, I mean, a bit of a reunion going on, guys. What would you say about Naki Wells coming back? I'm just not too sure. I think he might. I don't think I'd say no to him because obviously he has it'd be good to see him back at the Johnson stage. But do we really think he would contribute and really help the team? Fight for promotion. Has he still got the ability to play a lot of matches and score lots of goals? I don't know what his stats are like for Bristol City. But yeah, I don't know. I'm a bit 50-50 really. I mean, I would kind of I don't know. I'm kind of 50-50. I wouldn't be upset to see him back, but I wouldn't, if he didn't sign, then maybe there's a better option out there, that's a bit younger, and somebody that, yeah. But I did kind of bring a smile to my face when I saw this rumour, but yeah, I think it would be unbelievable to see him back in the blue and white stripes, but I don't know. I think this part probably might be a bit of a rumour that isn't really true. Again, you don't know what to believe, do you? You can only report on what you see in the rumours that you see. And I think that just kind of sparks debate about things on this channel as well. Obviously, we can now just discuss what we think about it. But yeah, Naki Wells, Aiden, I'm presuming you would love him back with the emojis there. and the praying emoji. But yeah, I mean, look, he might be a good player from the bench. If you look at the quality from the bench that we've had, striker wise, it's been quite poor, hasn't it? To be honest with you, so I don't think he'd start, but is he going to be a player that'd be able to help you from the bench? So potentially, we'll have to wait and see. Blue Chain said, I like Wells, but I don't think he's an upgrade on Healy. Yeah, look, I don't think it's about being an upgrade on Healy, by the way, Blue Chain. I think Healy is our number one striker. If he stays fit, if he gets a good pre-season, he's really raring to go, he's fit, he's really fully fit. We have to build a team around Healy, in my opinion. He is our number 9 for me. But I just think as somebody that can come on maybe from the bench and really come off from the bench, and make an impact, would Wells be able to do that? Might be able to. I think he is a bit older though now, so I don't know how good. Like I said, I don't really know his stats at Bristol City over the past few years, but yeah. So yeah, I'm not saying it would be an upgrade on Healy at all, but I just think maybe a player that can come off the bench to make an impact. I don't think I'd say no to that, really. I think he still might be useful for us, but I don't know. I'm a bit unsure, to be honest with you. Not really giving an answer, am I, really? I would love to have Wells and Healy up front. Yeah, I mean, look, I don't know if Wells would be able to play that amount of games at the age he's at now, Aiden, to be honest with you. Obviously, we know in League One, it's Saturday, Tuesday. A lot more, isn't it? It's a lot more relentless in League One, I think, in terms of the squad. Maybe it's not. I can't remember the last time we were in League One. I can't remember, guys. So, but I just feel like League One, you have more midweek games, don't you, than Championship, if I'm not mistaken. But look, we'll have to see how that develops. It could be a load of rubbish, that rumour again with Wells, but I am 50-50. I can see him coming in and doing well, but I'm kind of thinking, well, he's at that age. I'm not sure he'll be able to contribute as much as what we need him to, even if it is from the bench. So, yeah, we'll just have to wait and see. Now, this hasn't been a rumour really, but this is a player that I would love to have at the club. And don't question me on my rumour now. Don't question me on this and saying this player is signed for somebody, because if he has, then I just give up. But we are wrapping up in a moment anyway. We're going to look at the training gear as well, actually. We missed that to finish with. Now, this guy, Herbie Kane, who, again, has worked with Michael Duff. And it'd be interesting to see if we get any players in from Barnsley that, once the window opens. Will we get anybody from Barnsley? I know we've been linked with Devante Cole as well. And Jordan Williams, obviously, he is a Huddersfield lad. He was at Huddersfield before, wasn't he, in the academy, before he left. Jordan Williams has been a name that has kind of been, is he maybe going to come back, to the club, with Duff's connection, obviously working with each other at Barnsley. But Herbie Kane, he will be quality, wouldn't he? I know he has obviously had interest from higher up, but I would love this kind of player, the creativity that he will possess, He will be such a solid player. Maybe I'm just in dreamland, guys. And I haven't seen any rumours, by the way. So, I've kind of seen maybe potentially we're interested in him, but I haven't seen any kind of concrete interest in him. But I just think I've mentioned him because I think he'll be a player that I'd love to see, really. So, let me know what you think about this, guys. Would you take Herbie Kane? I think he's got great touch about him, got a good strike on him, great eye for a pass, get assists as well. So I just think he would be unbelievable for us. But yeah, thanks. I don't know why I'm saying thanks. I'm daydreaming. But yeah, guys, we are wrapping very soon. Hello there to Edit's Goat. How are you? New person to this channel, thank you for dropping in. I'm an Ipswich Town fan, and I hope you come straight back up to the Championship. Well, thank you very much. I really appreciate that. Look, we're hoping that we do ourselves. We know it's not going to be easy, but we hope that we can make our instant return back to Championship. That would be the dream start to Michael Duff's first season in charge of us. So hopefully you're right. Hopefully, I appreciate your well wishes as well, and I appreciate that, and hopefully Ipswich will stay up as well in the Premier League. Hopefully you have lots of fun in the Premier League too, but yeah, thank you for that. I would definitely take Herbie, but don't see it happening. Dominic Ball is a player I've seen being linked. Dominic Ball, is it? I haven't seen that rumour, Blue Terrier. Now we're just going to have a look then. See, before we go, what position does he play? Dominic Ball. A defensive midfielder. He's a defensive midfielder, he's Dominic Ball. And yeah, all right, so we've been linked with him. Dominic Ball was decent for us. Nice. Yeah, so Nick Switch fans in here telling us all about him, even though he didn't play that much. Yeah, I mean, Dominic Ball, I mean, look, I haven't really seen enough of him to say I want him, I don't. But so we are a bit weaker in that position in the defensive midfield role now. I think that, Hoggy, like I say, hasn't got the legs to be able to play. So we've lost Matos, obviously he's gone back to Chelsea now. So we do need another defensive midfielder. So if Dominic Ball fits the bill, then yeah, fair bring him in if we think he's going to be good enough. But like I said, I don't know much about this guy to comment on if I think he's good enough or if he'll be able to do well for us. But from what I've seen, obviously, edits, you said he was decent for you, so he does a decent job. And a decent job in League One, I think, will be really valuable for us. So, yeah, we'll just have to wait and see. But yeah, guys, we are wrapping up soon. We're just going to look at the kits now. How do you think about this training merchandise that's going to be released in July? Now, this top, I mean, I'm not too sure about this top, guys. I mean, I don't know. I just think it doesn't look very nice, that really, does it? I'm just not too sure. I mean, it might be a case of, kind of, it's more nicer in person because sometimes pictures don't do, merchandise, justice, does it? Does it? So I think maybe it's just a case of judging it when we see it in the shops. But also this top, I mean, this is kind of a nice top, but it's not the blue that we obviously we play in. It's a bit of a lighter blue, isn't it? But I think it's nice that, actually, to be honest with you. I do like that. I do like that training top. Now the orange, look, it's different, isn't it? It's different. You certainly won't be missed in this top, will you, if you're wearing this out and about. People will see you from a mile away, but it is different. I kind of like it. It is a bit different. So I don't think we've had an orange training top before. So yeah, I don't mind it. And then obviously the what's it called? I don't know. You know what I mean? Like a training, not a top, but it's a training like. What are they called, guys? Those training, I can't remember what they call them now, but this is obviously like the top that you'd wear underneath over your top. I can't remember what they're called, but it's not a jumper. It's more of a, I don't know what you call it, but anyway, I do like the orange. It does look quite smart, doesn't it? To be honest with you, so. But yeah, I think we've kind of covered everything, to be honest with you guys. We've kind of had a good stream tonight. Appreciate everything that's come in. Let's see if we miss any comments. The orange top is the better one out of the three. So you like the orange then, Aiden? Yeah. Like I say, I'm really excited to see what it looks like in person. All of the training merchandise. But I'm also interested to see what the shirts are going to be, the kits, the kits that we're going to be wearing next season as well. Obviously, they'll be coming out soon, announced. I'm pretty sure they'll definitely reveal some of the kits, the home one first, obviously. But yeah, I'd be interested to see what the home, away, and the third kits are going to be like as well. But we'll review those as well on the channel as well. But yeah, guys, I appreciate everybody that's tuning in. 141 of you on X and YouTube. I appreciate everybody that has dropped in tonight, contribute to the channel. You know who you are. Aiden, Blue Terrier, Terrier Darts. Had some new people come in. Edits go as well. Nick Switch fan. Any fans welcome in this stream, don't you worry about that. But yeah, I appreciate everybody that has tuned in. Imagine an orange away kit. Yeah, I mean, it would be quite, it would be quite good, wouldn't it? I don't know. I mean, orange. I don't know if orange, but I don't know how to feel about the orange. I'm a bit undecided. I need to see in person before I make a judgment of these kits. But yeah, I mean, an orange kit as well would be double orange. But yeah, look, we're just gonna have to wait and see. But yeah, we've covered quite a bit tonight, as you can imagine. But yeah, like I say, guys, if you are tuning on X, please make sure you come up to the YouTube and subscribe to the channel. It means a lot to me if you could. We're on the road to 500 subscribers. And yeah, like the video. It helps with the algorithm of the video too. I kind of find it hard to believe that 142 people are watching me right now on X and YouTube. It's just incredible, really. I mean, I guess I'm not that boring, am I? I guess, but I don't know. But yeah, we're going to be back tomorrow night, so we're going to have another stream tomorrow night. You're not just going to be listening to me waffle on. We have got a guest. We've got a guest coming onto the show tomorrow night, doing some Euros content, match day 1 predictions. We're going to do the match day, each match days, we're going to do, match day 1, match day 2, match day 3, match day 4. So we're going to be consistent with these. I'm thinking about setting up a fancy team as well, the Euros fancy team. I don't know if anybody's done it yet. I'm going to do one of those. So if anybody wants to create one themselves, I'll create a league that we can all join, and we'll see who wins. That would be quite fun, won't it? So anybody that's interested, I will keep an eye on my socials, and I'll obviously post that out when it's all sorted. Next few days, it's going to have to be done before Friday. So when the Euros start. So by Thursday at the latest, I'll have my team and I'll have the league set up, ready for anybody that wants to join. I will post it on my stories, on my socials, at HDFTV8 on Instagram and X. Of course, people watching X will know that anyway. But yeah, I thought that would be something that would be quite fun to do. If we get the interest, it would be good if we can get a few people in, at least 2 or 3 people alongside me to see who finishes on top. It's quite fun, isn't it? So anyway, great live stream, mate. He says, yeah, big up to you. I appreciate that. But yeah, guys, thank you for watching. We will keep these streams going, obviously with more Huddersfield Town and Euros content mixed together, depending on what news we get from the club. Like I say, it might go quite a bit now in the club front. So just depends what happens there. But obviously, Euros will cover quite a bit of the Euros. England, obviously. So yeah, lots to look forward to. I hope you enjoy the content, and I just want to keep getting better at this. I'm waffling on. I never know how to end this whenever I do this. But yeah, drop me a follow on my socials. Like I say, Euros, fantasy football. I'm going to set that up. We'll get into a league together. Anybody that wants to come in, I'll post my league code that you can join. And yeah, plenty more to look forward to. So yeah, smash a like, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and have a good rest of the evening. And I'll see you tomorrow night at 8 o'clock, 8:30, and I don't know, 8:30 for the Euros match day 1 predictions with a special guest, which I will announce when I promote the stream tomorrow lunchtime. But yeah, guys, I appreciate everybody that's tuned in. Have a good rest of the evening, and I'll see you tomorrow. But thanks all for your support, and I'm out of here. Take care, everybody. Goodbye.